Hey everyone, so it's Megan Elizabeth with AboveRubyStudio.com, and I really wanted to show you how to use this awesome shadow box that is included in this kit. It is such a great value that you're getting all this stuff and this shadow box that you can DIY any which way you want to, but especially it's a great gift for a man for his office, for a dad. I mean, you can use it for so many things. It's a great Christmas decor item, and there's some really fun Christmassy paper in this kit as well. With Christmas coming up, the reds and the greens that are in here, you don't have to use it just for masculine themed stuff. It has that rustic-y feel and tone, and I love it. I want to show you guys how to assemble it, and I also want to show you how I am going to decorate it. And we're going to start by using the outer edge of the frame. So when you open up the bag, and I already did that so you wouldn't have to hear me wrestle with it on camera, you have this part of the frame, and then this is the box base, and it's a really cool, this is so easy to do. We got to play with these at CHA, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cool. So I'm gonna put this aside, and we're gonna start with this. My outer paper is going to be this red polka dot, and you can just really see the fun pattern here. And I'm going to just mark it and cut it out. So I'm making sure that it's completely lined up. If I have a little bit of overhang, I'm all right with that, because I can easily trim that out with using like a nail file, which is probably what I'll do. I'm just marking this off with a pen, and then I'm going to trim it down to start. And then you're asking, okay, so that's great, but how do you get the inside center part? How do you know what to cut out so that it actually, lines up? So you can do this a couple ways. You can just draw it out, or you can also use like a scoreboard or something along those lines that'll help you make sure you really get the marks exactly where you need them to be. And I do like using a scoreboard for this kind of project from time to time. I just feel like it does give me the most accurate, you just find your little groove right along the edge and you just go. And then that way you know exactly where you're cutting. And with the Martha Stewart scoreboard, you can pretty easily find the groove right in where you're at. So, that's how I do it. You can certainly just trace it out and cut it out, but I know that this is how I got my most accurate cuts for doing something like this before. Just make sure you're in that groove and you're good to go. And again, you can once again, you can make sure, just by using a nail file, you can, shave up your ends. And now I know exactly where I need to cut. Anything that's left overhanging, I then know I can just trim up with my scissors because I know right where my groove is. This is just the easiest way that I found to do it, but if you have an easier one, have at it. You can also use like an X-Acto blade and go around the inside. I find that can drag a little bit, and that kind of drives me nuts. Then I can just go in and snip these little corners with my scissors, and I'm good. Now, if you want to like wrap it around or do different fancy folds and stuff that goes around this frame, again, have at it, have fun, do what works for you. Really. But I really found this worked best for me. I'm going to use zip dry glue. It's really fast drying paper adhesive that doesn't warp. And I always have a brayer on hand when I'm covering any kind of chipboard or anything like that. It just really helps get any bubbles out and keeps things smooth and flowing the way we want them to be. So zip dry, and I'm really spreading out the glue. When you spread it out, it makes a big difference. You don't want any like pools of it. You don't want like streaky lines. You want to kind of like move it in circular motions or streaky motions kind of thing. You don't want to like gush it on. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope you can see what I mean as I'm moving it around. Really keep that nozzle right to the paper and push it in. Make sure it's lined up. Press it down. Use that brayer to get out any air bubbles. Keep that warping down. Just go around all 4 sides. You should be good to go. I'm going to stick my pin back in my zip dry. Stick my lid on top. And then I just grab a nail buffer or a sanding tool and just go right in there along the edges and clean it up. But you shouldn't have too much cleanup to do if you made your cuts right. But this can make it look like it was, you know, meant to be all on one thing. This is how it came. You didn't alter it, which is sometimes, you know, really a bonus. And any nail file will do. Really, really. But keep in mind that does distress the ends a little bit. So as long as you're okay with that, that's how you're going to get your cleanest.
Regular.
There we go. Get a little more action with the big buffer here. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, now we're gonna put the box together, and I do want to put some paper down on the inside because this is a shadow box, so you're gonna see what's on the inside. And I'm going to use this wood grain, and I'm gonna actually have it go like kind of wainscoting kind of thing. I think I'm just going to make a couple tick lines as to where I need to cut this. This is gonna be pretty straightforward, I think. Let's see. Yeah, we should be pretty good. And this is just going on the inside of the box, so I'm not being overly particular because you're not going to see it all. It's like a shadow box. Well, it is a shadow box, but because it's like a shadow box, you're not going to see the whole thing. And again, you're going to do the same little technique, keeping that nozzle all the way down, spreading it around, stretching it around, not letting it pull up in any one place, in streaks or lines. Keeping the nozzle down. Flip it over. Again, this is pretty fast drying. Grab that brayer, get the bubbles out. Perfection. Okay. Now, there's little sticky tabs on here. You don't even have to worry about the adhesive that you're going to use. It has really, really strong tape on here. You just want to get in on that corner and peel back the white. And I just start one side at a time. You want to go kind of, you know, take your time. Make sure it is lined up really well. So line it up, like rest it in there. And make sure that the corners are flush, like so. Again, peel back. And you just want to make sure that your edges are flush. And you're going to have a perfect little shadow box when you're done. Now you can strip out and put your decorative edges and paper on the outside, which I might do at the end when it's all said and done. See how I like it, how I want to decorate it or whatever. But I knew I wanted this on the inside, that on the outside, and that's a great place to start. Okay, now let's adhere that together. Now the really cool part about this, and this does take a little bit more lining up, you just peel these strips back and they flip out. And to me, it's easy, but you just want to be patient. And you can do both at one time or do one at a time. I found it easier to do both at one time, but then you also run the risk of it not quite lining up. So both line up on here. And if you just go all the way to the edge on this one, you're pretty darn close on the other one. But you just have to be really, really careful. I'm just gonna turn it and set it on here one at a time. And just sort of make sure my box is, I wanna say scrunched in place. Basically, yeah, it's scrunched in place. So you can then go ahead and you could put, you know, before you do it, you could put paper on the inside and line the entire inside of the box. But I was more interested in not. Now you can see how I did this. Okay, there's a lot of extra space there. It does frame out further than the box is deep, and I did that backwards. I was gonna do that from the standpoint of I wanted it to stand flat. If I had this lip and I wanted the box, it wouldn't do that. So I gave it a flush edge on this side and gave it more of a frame on that side. Does that make sense? Can you see what I did? You can do it any which way you want. But yeah, that's what I did. Now you can go and decorate this to your heart's content, and I really like some of these tags. For example, the bingo card and maybe even like the elements here, and you can kind of decorate them inside, outside, do whatever you want to do. I'm going to spend a little bit of time decorating this, and I will come back to you guys kind of with more of a finished product in just a few minutes. Once I get a few things on there, it's just going to take a little time and I'll explain what I did. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to decorate this, and I have a few ideas, and I'd like to go a little bit further with it than probably what I'm even going to show, so I'll post a final picture, but I just wanted to show you the basics. I am using 2 of the brads. I'm kind of making this like a game box kind of feel, and I'm going to make the title on it Good Times, and I'm actually going to do the word good on the inside and then times out here. And I'm actually going to use the alpha stickers, but you can go ahead and cut out letters with your Cricut, maybe use a black, and I'm also going to be using the Viva Decor Bronze Pearl Pen, and it actually does oxidize and turn a little bit green over time, which is kind of cool about it. I am using the brads, but I'm cutting the legs off because I don't want to punch through, and I might want to change this out, and I don't want to leave holes in it if I ever want to peel this up or recover it in any way. So all you need to do is clip them off. You just gotta, you might need to bend them apart depending on your scissors, and then you're gonna wanna spread them open. And you can use your little We Are Memory Keepers tool if you need to make sure they're spread and flat. And then I'm using the Candy from Craftwork Cards. They have their own little adhesive foam pad sheets for like the actual little candies that don't have feet, so you don't have to cut them off, which is great. And I'm going to use 2 of them on the back. All right, 2 of them. Yeah, just on there. And I'm going to use them as little buttons. Now I cut this out, and what I did for the top, let me just show you for the stuff that's not. I just trimmed it flat to the edge and then just cut it out. So the actual tag, original tag, in case you forget, it looks like this. I just cut it out just using scissors and then cut it down and left the edge hang over because it is a shadow box and I do like the way that looks. And then this one's already adhered down, and I'm going to just use some adhesive, zig, squeeze and roll, anything really will work. Oh, I want to ink the edge of this. I like finishing off my edges with ink. So you can use brown, you can use the Rainy Days In that's included, you can use black because this is a black card, but I like the distressed feel of how this silver gray really brings out the colors and that rustic feel of this particular paper collection. So that's why it was included. And we're going to make sure that that doesn't go all the way off the edge, but it can hang off over there a little bit. And that should be perfect. I did cut out a little mustache, tiny little mustache from this, and I'm just going to adhere that down right underneath my brad at the top. Just another little element up there. Now what I am going to do is grab a Flourish stamp. I have a Flourish stamp from the Love Life collection with Close to My Heart that I really like, and I think is going to be really helpful on this particular layout that I'm doing, and there's two. Set this aside. There's a little one and a big one, and I just want to see how it kind of goes. I'm thinking I want to put this little one up here like this, and the big one I want it to kind of wrap around and come like up around here. So I might like do it twice. And I'm going to do my pearl pen trick. So let me start by grab a little block. We'll do this little one. And I don't need it to be any kind of great impression. And I want to stamp this before I do my title. So let's see. Let's go this way with this one. So it's going to be enough now that what I can do is go in and with my pearl pen follow the pattern, and it'll dry pretty darn close to clear. You'll have to look really close to be able to see it once you're done. So it loses like the detail of the stamp, of course, and you can get pretty fine, intricate, crazy with your pearl pen application, which is what I love about it so much. And just dot it in. Before I do this side, I want to put down my title. Or no, I'm sorry, I want to stamp first, and then I'm going to put down my title before I do my Viva. And we're going to go this way. And then up this way. And if you actually were stamping on here to like get a real impression, you're going to want to do that before you apply down any, put the box together. So I want it to say times out here, so I'm going to spell it backwards. And I like spelling backwards when I'm going from right to left. It just helps me keep things in line better. And then you can really put any kind of event in here. You can do old photos, you can do, you know, family game nights, do some black and whites. You really can do a lot with this. And like I said, once again, it can go anywhere. You know, I feel like it's a really great, you know, more masculine feel gift, which I love about it. Okay, so now I just want to go back in where my lines are, and I'm going to add in my little flourishy kind of feel. So we're doing some pretty intricate flourishy work with the pearl pen, but that is really what I love so much about them, is that you really can get so many patterns from it. And I'm using the stamp as a guide. I'm not making the stamp like exact. I don't think I could. There's too many details in that stamp, but it is a really great guide to use for my final little design here, and I think it's awesome. And the bronze pearl pen really could not be more of a perfect fit. I couldn't have planned that better if I tried. I'm going to add a little bit more over here, and I'm just going to kind of freehand it with what I'm doing. And even go like up on the journal tag, the bingo tag rather. And come around this way. They really do hold their shape really well too, and they're self-leveling, so you don't get like the Hershey Kiss effect where you have little points. And if you're really careful and you practice, like I use these things all the time, you can really get like uber tiny dots. Can you see how tiny they are? I think that's so fun. So fun about this. And I'm just going to add a few more up here, and I'm going to make them a little bigger. But yeah, you can just kind of keep going around, and once you get like all your pearl pen down, you can just sort of finish it out, you know, really simple. It's really an elegant way to finish it off. And then I'm going to put my word good on the inside of the box. And then, like I said, add your pictures on the inside. You can add some more little memorabilia on the outside, put in a few other little items. That's what I love about a shadow box. You can also, if you cut out a piece of acetate, you could actually frame it, like actually put a piece of acetate to the back of this before you adhere it down. That's always a really great option as well. So there's just a lot you can do with these boxes. And I think, you know, it's really, really awesome bonus to this final kit that I am coming out with. I'm kind of sad that they're going to be going away. So get your last kits while you can during these life changes. I hope you guys enjoyed this project as much as I enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys have a fabulous day. I'll see you again soon at AboveRubyStudio.com. Bye-bye.